Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, The Practical Therapist. Today I wanted to come and make a short video that's a follow-up video to a video I recently did featuring me and my little mini-me as I discussed how you as a parent can use everyday food items such as peanut butter and syrup to facilitate the desired and proper lip movement for what we call in speech therapy bilabial sounds. Bilabial, bi meaning two, labial, the medical term for lips. So all of these sounds are made with both of your lips either pressed together or your lips are forming in a circle shape. So the sounds that we talked about were B, M, P, and W. But I wanted to give a little bit more information. So what I decided to do was create a data sheet that I hope you find very straightforward and helpful if this is something that you want to try at home with your child. So I'm going to begin to screen share this little sheet that I created here. Okay. All right, guys. So if you're looking at the screen here, this is the data sheet that I created. I'm going to enlarge it a little bit. Hopefully that should be a little bit better. So I'll go through it, the basics of it and how you can use this at home. And also I'll have information on where you can download it as well. So first you would put your child's name here. Obviously, you know your child's name and the date. And now let me just say with the date, there's a couple ways that you can track the data. If you would want to print this sheet out and print out several copies and let's say work on this skill for a month and work on it, let's say, for example, every Monday, you can do that as well. If you wanted to record the data, let's say in a document on your phone or in a notebook, and you wanted to laminate this particular data sheet so you can wipe it down and reuse it over and over again, that's an option as well. So with that being said, let's talk about basically what this sheet is for. It's for oral motor lip closure and lip rounding exercises for the production of B, M, P, and W. If you notice here where I have circle the item used, these are the four items that I talked about in the last video that I did. We have a jar, not jar, excuse me, a bottle of honey, a container of peanut butter, a container of marshmallow fluff, and a bottle of maple syrup. In that video that I had discussed earlier, I talked about honey and or peanut butter allergies and how maple syrup and or marshmallow fluff can be used as alternatives. So here's some things that you want to remember when it comes to these food items. Remember that you want lip closure or you want the lips to be pressed together if you're trying to get your child to mimic the motions for B, M, or P. You also want the lips to form a circle or circular like motion if you're trying to elicit the movements for a W sound. So here I created 10 little boxes because I like to typically collect data in increments of 10 because it's easy math. For example, if your child did 10 out of these 10 different lip exercises correctly, it would be 10 out of 10. If it was 5 out of 10, it would be 50% or 5 out of 10. So for me, increments of 10 are easier for easier data collection. Here are some things to note as you're working on this sheet here. Did your child, first of all, accept the food? So if you have four choices here, did your child at least accept one out of the four, assuming they're not allergic to any? Did your child need to watch you do it first before they would try it? So let's say, for example, your child has never seen marshmallow fluff and you think they would really like it. Did you have to put it on your lips first in order for them to become comfortable after seeing you do it and were more willing to try it? Did your child repeat or try to repeat some of the sounds after you said them first? So let's say, for example, going back to the marshmallow, you put the marshmallow on your lips, and as you're working the marshmallow off of your lips, you're saying, mmm, mmm. Or let's say you're rounding your lips to get the marshmallow off and you're going, mmm, wah, wah. What you want to look for here is not only is your child watching you, but also are they imitating first the motion of the lips? And then secondly, if you're actually imitating this, we're not imitating, but if you're actually producing the sound, you want to make sure that the child is trying to imitate you as well. So let me go up here and show you how you would circle the item that you are using, the letter sound that you're targeting, and how the data would look. Okay, so bear with me as I try to use my pen here to illustrate. Hopefully this works. Okay, so let's see, I think let's try this in red or darker color so you guys can see. All right, so let's just put name here. I would put, say, I'm just gonna put child. And then the date, let's just say it was February 1st, 2021. Okay. So let's say item used. Let's say if you're just going to use, for example, peanut butter, you would go ahead and circle peanut butter. All right. And now let's go back to some things to remember. Let's say you're working on the M sound. So what you would do is circle the sound that you're working on so that you can keep track of it. All right. So you have your child's name, you have the date that you're working with your child, and you also have the sound that you're working on, and you've also circled the food item that you're going to use. Also, keep in mind that you need certain materials. Again, in the video that I referenced, if you want to use gloves so that your hands don't get sticky, since these are sticky food items, feel free. I do that as a therapist to practice universal precautions. However, you can feel free to use gloves if you want to, or wash your hands. Also, make sure your hands are clean if you choose not to use gloves. I would also say some materials to have ready would be paper towels, a washcloth or some wipes, the back of a spoon, clean and unused popsicle sticks or tongue depressors. And also you want to do this in an area where you won't be upset if it, gets messy. So I would say, for example, at your dining room table or preferably in the kitchen. So once you've established all of that, this is how you would take the data. So let's say, for example, you took the back of a spoon, you dipped it in the peanut butter, and you put just enough peanut butter on the top and bottom lips. And then you began to, let's say you actually did it yourself so that you could show your child. So you demonstrated it first. And then let's say you showed your child how to clean your lips like this by bringing your lips and pressing them together. And then afterwards, you said the sound to see if your child could imitate the sound that you're making as well. Let's say your child initially, for the very first time, did it 3 out of 10 times. So simply coming to the box here, okay, did my child, well, let me back up first. Let's say if you want to see if your child can just press their lips together. So the first row could be used to collect data on whether your child was able to press and bring their lips together. Let's say they were able to do that 3 out of 5 times. Let's say they did it the first time, that would be a check. They didn't do it the second time, that would be, whoops, let me go back here. I'm actually going to use X's. I think it'll be a little bit easier. All right. So let's say your child was able to press their lips together the first time. Yes. The second time, no. The third time, no. And let's say the last 2 times they really understood what you were trying to show them. So you have 5 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many times was your child able to press their lips together and imitate the motion that you wanted them to imitate out of 5 opportunities or 5 trials? Well, you can see here that the child was able to do it 3 times. So 1, 2, 3. 3 divided by 5 is 60%. So the first time here, you would have your child able to imitate the correct lip movements for the M sound in 60% or 3 out of 5 opportunities that you presented to them. So let's say you're here at the bottom row, and now you want to see if your child can imitate mm, once you've given them the example. Let's say here now your child's really enjoying the activity and they're able to do it 4 out of 5 times. Let's say the first time, no, but the other 4, yes. So you would simply mark whether it was yes or no here. And as you can see, you have 4 yeses out of 5 opportunities. 4 out of 5 gives you 80%. So again, this is a way if you wanted to, again, use the first row for the actual lip movement and use the second row for the actual repetition of the sound. But let's say you just want to work on whether your child can imitate just the sound and you want to do that 10 times. Well, you would simply work on giving your child an example by producing the target sound, in this case, M. And then you would record here on your data sheet how many times your child produced the sound themselves. So let me go ahead and erase out those boxes. So again, going to my example before, let's say your child was able to imitate the sound in 50% of these opportunities that you presented. So you're doing 10 trials and your child is able to do it 50% of the time. You would simply have 5 out of these 10 boxes marked. So I hope that was a pretty good explanation of that. Now going down, this is the notes section. So if you're finishing up this activity, this is where you want to write down some notes so you know what worked during this session, what you can kind of tweak and change. And that way, if you go back, let's say the following week, and you want to try it again, you can refer back to this data sheet to see what you need to do and see how successful it was. Again, if you wanted to laminate this sheet and you wanted to just take notes in your phone, you would write little notes as well. And you could even take a picture of it. That way you have a screenshot of it, or you can email it to yourself. So there's all different ways to capture the information. But the point that I want to make is once you do this, you'll have an idea of how successful your child is and what you can do as a parent to even facilitate more productions and more independence as you're trying to teach your child these different bilabial sounds. So again, I hope you found this video helpful. I hope you found this instructional video on how to use a simple data sheet like this helpful. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and I will have information on how you can download this form. All right, guys, thank you for joining me, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.